All right, so I feel like my entrance was terrible, so let me try that again. You ready?
Yeah, I'm ready.
All right. So we're talking about Doomsday Clock.
Oh,
was that better?
Yeah, it was very ominous. It was very ominous. Gosh.
Oh, we're excited. I think JP and I have been like talking about this whole thing, man, for like a year and a half. Like we've been pretty much since Rebirth came out.
Since Rebirth, yeah.
Super excited to see how the Watchmen would just fit into this whole debacle.
Yeah, because Rebirth was around the time you really immersed yourself back into the comicdom.
It is. I had been off for quite a while.
And I mean, just that final pages where you see, Dr. Manhattan and the Button and all this stuff. And now we're finally seeing after the Button crossover and Flash and Batman that kind of wet our whistles.
Which was so good.
Yeah, and then the Oz Effect in Action Comics, which I didn't like it as good as the Button, and it didn't have, a super lot to do with Dr. Manhattan and stuff. It did kind of set the stage a little bit.
Right, it kind of alludes to this being that's just,
Because Superman, it does kind of center around him as far as, what's going to happen within the DC world. I mean, it's going to encompass everything,
right?
But it's largely weighing on Superman.
It seems like Dr. Manhattan is really up to something, but the last time we saw him, he seemed like he was just kind of done with humanity, that he didn't really care what happened, that he was just going to go, what did he say, go somewhere, maybe start some life, start a family.
I wonder if perhaps he's being coerced, and if so, who could even coerce?
Right, who has
Dr.
the power?
Manhattan?
I mean, he's virtually God.
He is.
I think you could say he's arguably like the most, or definitely like one of the most, like absolute most powerful beings in any comic ever. He exists outside of time. He doesn't, you know what I mean? He's godlike.
Yeah, I'm trying to think of who. I mean, I don't want to jump into Marvel stuff. As far as DC goes, I'm not sure who could really go toe to toe with him.
Huh. Yeah, what do you think in Marvel though? Let's go ahead and cross that bridge.
The Scarlet Witch has vast reality altering capabilities.
Right.
I mean, she's not as well. Dr. Manhattan's not really omnipotent. I mean, he can see, within his own timeline.
Mm-hmm.
But
he can see like past, present, and future, like all together, right?
Yeah,
like
as long as it's involving him,
right?
Like he can't see, into your future unless he's directly involved in it.
This ends with you in tears.
Yeah.
Blah, 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 blah. But so Doomsday Clock issue 1 finally hit stores. But definitely for Doomsday, for the second issue, we're going to try to get to that closer. JP was sick last week. It was a holiday. It kind of threw work. It was like the worst week it could have came out for us to podcast.
It was. It really was.
But the next issue will be a lot closer to the release of the issue. But issue 1 out, and I have so many more questions than I got answers.
Yeah, I mean, it set the stage, but it didn't reveal a lot. We know where Ozymandias is. Mm-hmm. We know he's got cancer. He's got some new friends. He's got a black Rorschach.
Right.
Which is fine,
Did we saw that? Did we see that? Was that what they showed when he showed his hand?
Yeah, he took his gloves off. He was like, I'm not the same Rorschach, and he was a black fellow.
But like, my question is, he keeps being so cryptic with it, like he says that he's the same, but he's not. But so what's happening? Do you think maybe he pulled a Rorschach from another timeline? An alternate reality?
I think Ozymandias just kind of recruited another dude,
And just gave him that mantle of Rorschach.
Just kind of do my dirty work. He found somebody who was kind of screwed up in the head in the same. So he probably found someone with the same sort of traumatic background as Rorschach. And
Rorschach, too, man. Maybe just the name itself. It strikes fear into the criminal world. Mm-hmm. Maybe that's why he wanted them to keep that facade up. I don't know. I have so many questions, which, I mean, it's first issue, so of course there will be lots of questions. Yeah. But how awesome is DC right now?
Man, they're really batting. I don't know what the baseball metaphor is, but 100, 1,000. They're doing really good. They're putting out a lot of good content.
They really are. Sure. Between this and Dark Days going on, and the Flash series, I feel is hit or miss. But Action has been pretty solid. I think most of its run from Rebirth up to now.
Yeah, I've enjoyed King's run on Batman. Sure.
The All-Star Batman was pretty good. You had the White Knight going on now, which is awesome.
Yeah, I'm ready for another issue of that to come out. Yeah.
I love that. But yeah, so we've recruited 2 new heroes.
Are they heroes or villains?
I think they're villains, but they could be heroes.
I mean,
the Mime and what was the others?
Oh, geez, Marionette.
The Marionette.
Right,
there
right,
you go.
yeah.
Yep. I like when he's like, I have to get my weapons, and then go in there, and it's just like,
yeah. And even Rorschach's like, seriously, this dude is wackadoo. He didn't want to spring him. He just wanted Marionette.
Right.
Well, I guess Ozymandias is who wanted Marionette. He just got Rorschach to spring them. But man, I'm hoping I'm right about that. Like right? Because she's like, Rorschach, blah, blah, blah. And he's like, I'm not that Rorschach, and takes off his gloves and his hands were black, right? I'm right about that, right?
I'll have to go back. I had really wanted to reread that before we got a chance to. But you probably are right. It's probably a detail I overlooked. You seem to pick up a lot more detail in comics that I overlook. In my time off from comics, I had really gotten into novels, so I'm just used to reading words and going straight on through, and I need to stop and sometimes pay more attention to each pane because they could have something different. But yeah, you could be exactly right. I mean, because she did whatever he showed her, she was like, oh, and I don't know really what else on his hand he could have shown. So you might be right. I was just thinking like a marking or something, but you're probably right. You're probably right. You're
recasting Rorschach as a black man.
Okay.
Yeah.
So that was okay. It's going to be interesting for sure. I really. Like, we can keep this Rorschach, but I at least want to see it. I just loved. I've always said two of my favorite comic book characters of all time are Rorschach and Cassidy from Preacher. Like, they are just such great flawed. Like, I think they're examples of flawed characters done right. Some people kind of jump on there and try to be like, oh, I'm going to make my character so deep and scarred, and then they just kind of screw it up. Whereas Rorschach and Cassidy, man, I mean, they're just done so well. Okay, I don't know how I didn't. How did I not? I guess I was thinking it was low light or something. I don't know. I don't know how I missed that.
Yeah, with the paneling, it is. It's not like a more contemporary comic, so it is a lot more going on. But that's beautiful though that they're really paying homage to the original. I mean. I'm sure Alan Moore is still not a happy camper, but I don't think anything's going to make him happy.
Not from what I've read.
Someone just needs to be like, Alan Moore, why so serious? Why so sad?
So serious.
But I mean, he doesn't want to see his stuff bastardized, and I can understand that.
Right. I mean, it's I've never had anything published, but I write a lot, and I imagine just the pride you have in this tale and these characters and these things that you've done, and then have someone else just take something that you feel like is your own. I mean, I could see but I would try to be a little more. I mean, you knew what you were getting into.
I read the other day, it seemed valid, like when the Watchmen film was coming out, he was just like, he basically relinquished all rights to like profit rights, like his share in the profits or whatever the word for that is. Just to like not have his name attached to that film or any subsequent films based on his work.
Wow.
So like he was just like, whatever profits are going to come my way, just distribute it between like Gibbons and whoever else was involved with the artwork. And I'm throwing up my hands. I do not want my name attached to anything you people do with my work. And that's all. That's it.
And I know it definitely caught a lot of criticism, but I really liked the movie. I mean, it had its issues, just like Superman versus Batman. I thought that was a good movie. It wasn't without its flaws and my problems with it, but overall, I enjoyed the experience.
Yeah, I mean, I thought The Watchmen, the basic story was there. I liked Jeffrey Dean Morgan as the comedian. I loved that opening scene, But I mean, I understand a lot of people thought it was more spectacle than substance, and I can see that. But I mean, I thought it was solid, I enjoyed going and watching it.
I enjoyed it. It's something I enjoy watching. But yeah, so let's see. Where did we leave off with this one? I feel bad to ask that question, but it's just because it's been a long week. But
it has. Well, basically, Rorschach springs Mimic and Myriad.
Mime.
Right. Mime. And they get out of prison. They go back to the to Night Owl's, base of operations. And that was so cool, man. He's still got the owl ship there.
Yeah.
And they're just like, man.
And where is Night Owl? We don't know, right?
We don't know where anyone is, really. They've disappeared. Rorschach, well, I mean, we know what happened to him, whether that's actually what happened. Man, that is going to be crazy if they bring him back to life, man. That's going to be like some Marvel writer now wanting to bring like Jean Grey back to life or something, which I think they might actually be trying to do.
Well, Jean Grey's got her own series now.
Yeah, well, that's like a time-displaced Jean Grey.
Is it?
Not the one that like Chris Claremont killed. But
kind of like how they just brought like Wolverine back type deal. Like they want to straight up bring her back, like be her.
Yeah, there's some stuff you just don't do, you know.
Yeah, Rorschach died. I mean,
yeah, he got
his
blown
guts
to
were
pieces.
everywhere. Just as much as I would love to see him back, because he is, like I said, one of my all-time favorite comic book characters. I mean, just let him die with grace. You know,
I mean, it could happen. Well, I mean, Dr. Manhattan could like reconstitute him, or maybe he could play it off like, well, actually just, you know, like transported him somewhere and made it appear that, you know, there was, you know, I exploded.
I transported him somewhere in like an instant. He transported someone else in, and then blew them up and made you think.
Yeah, I mean, there's ways they could do it, but it's doing it in the right way. You know,
I would love to see him come back, but if he does come back, I hope it's done right. I hope it's not.
Yeah.
You know,
but I mean, you know, you're not going to please everyone. I mean, a lot of people are still pissed off that Ed Brubaker brought Bucky back. You know, Bucky Barnes is the Winter Soldier. You know, that still doesn't sit right with a lot of people.
Yeah.
So there's some people, man, no matter how awesome Doomsday Clock is, they're just, the fact that it's not Alan Moore, they're just not going to be happy.
Right. And what has this been? 7 years? Is it 7?
7 years after
whole,
Ozymandias killed like 3 million people in New York.
Which we're still thinking, you know, we're still on comic. That's the problem, is sometimes trying to remember which was in which, because it's been a while since I've read it. But
yeah.
So the last we saw, he brought that giant alien blob thing.
Yeah.
Like, and it killed a bunch of people and. Right?
Yeah.
Wasn't that?
Yeah, it's 7 years after that. The heroes have disappeared. Ozymandias is, you know, still trying to pull the strings. He has cancer, apparently.
I wonder if he got that from Dr. Manhattan.
Yeah, that's a good question.
They were in close proximity when they were fighting.
Yep.
Well, they weren't really fighting, but he was chasing him.
Whoever gets close to that glowing blue dong of his, you know, doesn't end well.
Glowing blue dong. But yeah, so there's so many things going on right now, so many questions. But I mean, I'm happy with it.
I thought it was a solid issue. Yeah. Apparently, Robert Redford, I think, is president. Is what they're trying to say.
Yeah.
Like, that's the only Redford I could really think of. That, you know.
Yeah, I love the alternate timeline. It's really, I just, man, it's so many things. I want to know what's going to happen. What do you know when is the next issue coming out?
That I can't say.
I feel vastly unprepared for not having that either. Look, I should have said this in the beginning. If you're new to our comic cast, we are not experts by any means. We are two guys that read comics and love to talk about it.
Yeah, we're very enthusiastic.
Right. We're comic book enthusiasts, not comic book experts.
But we may have some sort of industry, not insiders, but experts come in from time to time. We may have some special guests, you know.
Yeah. So
the dude that owns the comic shop right next to us, he's very well versed. He knows a lot of the history. He might, you know, pop in and say, "What's up?" Yeah, we got some stuff in the works.
You never know where it could go.
It's going to be a good show. It's going to be, yeah.
So we're excited heading into issue 2. We've been waiting for this for at least since last summer. It's been long awaited. Very good first issue, I believe. I definitely felt like Watchmen. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, it did.
Considering
Gary
how long
Frank,
ago
man,
it's been.
I'm loving his artwork in this. I love Gary Frank just to pieces anyway, but he's really doing a great job. What'd you think of the that last scene with Superman? He's having that nightmare where his parents get killed in that wreck after they drop him off at prom,
and that
or
was
whatever.
his first nightmare that he's ever. What did he say? That was like the first time he's ever had a nightmare, or first time he's ever had a dream, or something.
But see, I'm wondering, like, as far as the continuity, I mean, that's like a new thing, like his parents dying in a car wreck like that.
Right? Yeah.
Yeah. So I guess, like, in the Rebirth universe, that's how they actually died. Because I definitely haven't seen him in action.
Well, this Superman is from another universe, right? So isn't it possible that perhaps the...
Yeah, well, that's where it gets murky, because they kind of meld it, you know, New 52
with that
Superman in with the...
Yeah, what was that, Superman Reborn? That little run where it crossed between Action and the Superman title, isn't that what you're talking about?
Yeah, yeah.
And then he got all of that Superman's memories, and
yeah, they basically just melded.
So he totally
together.
remembers hooking up with Wonder Woman.
Yeah, he must, right?
But he's still with Lois, so he gets the best of both worlds. He gets to remember his time with Wonder Woman, but he gets to stay with old Lois.
That'd be some kind of three-way. Wonder Woman, Lois Lane. You'd have to be Superman just to hold up.
Yeah,
man.
that would be quite. I'm sure that there's some fan fiction out there somewhere. But so yeah, I don't know. I was wondering that too, because I don't know, man. Is that the Superman maybe of their world? Which then again, though, in the old Watchmen, I specifically remember them referencing Superman as a comic.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I don't know. It's kind of reminding me of how, like, in in Logan that there was an X-Men comic,
right.
Even though he was right there. So maybe they made comics about. I don't know, because I feel like they would just be virtually useless in a world where Superman existed.
Yeah, I definitely don't think the DC heroes existed within the Watchmen world.
Right.
I mean, maybe it was just a work of fiction within their reality. I don't know.
Right,
Maybe
that just so happened to exist in another reality.
Right.
Maybe somebody had seen into. I don't know. I was wondering the same thing, though. I was really. The whole thing was basically centered around the Watchmen, which is what I think readers wanted because it's been so long. And then finally we see Superman at the end, and he's had a nightmare. And apparently there's something that Dr. Manhattan wants from Superman.
Yeah, I mean, has Dr. Manhattan manipulated Superman's past? Did he? I don't know, man.
Is he responsible, perhaps? Maybe he's just going to go back and change some origins of Krypton and.
Because pre-Flashpoint, Superman's parents were both still alive. Jeff Johns actually did a big controversial thing by killing Pa Kent. He killed Superman's father, which hadn't been done, and now we're like I said, I didn't follow everything through the New 52. I think they maintain that his father was dead.
Right.
But so now they're just saying both parents are dead. I don't know what's happening.
I don't know. Between Flashpoint and Rebirth, it's just a lot of.
Yeah,
back and forth, man. I don't know. I'm still getting caught up on a lot of New 52. That was during my years off. I've gotten a couple of. I've got the Death of Superman, which was a fantastic series. Showing how he got that kryptonite poisoning and died. But I mean, great series. But I still have a lot of catching up to do. I did read Flashpoint though.
The only New 52 thing I read, just start to finish, was Scott Snyder's run on Batman.
You said it was really good.
Oh man, yeah, out of this world.
The best thing you thought out of the New 52?
Yeah, oh yeah. In my opinion, by far, yes. And plus, it was just consistent. Like I said, that one writer did the entire run. I don't know how many other things in the New 52 stuck with one writer like that. So.
I want to say too, somebody had asked in our last Comic Cast video, they had asked what I was talking about when I said the Wild Hunt. And I haven't found much on that. This is going back to Metal, which I'm not going to stay on very long. I just don't know when we'll get a chance to address that question. So I'm going to go ahead and answer it in case that listener is listening now. But they asked, what is this Wild Hunt you speak of? Because I don't see it on any of the checklists where it's talking about all the Metal tie-ins and things. But at the end of the Batman Who Laughs, it says to be continued in Metal number 4 and the Wild Hunt.
The Wild Hunt. I'm not sure about that either.
Unless Metal number 4 is going to be called And the Wild Hunt.
Yeah.
I don't know, man. I hadn't heard of it either, but apparently it says it's gonna introduce some heroes we hadn't seen yet. I don't know. So if that's what I'm talking about. So I would just Google it, man. I don't really have that many details on it just yet, but I know that it's got to be its own issue because when I told the lady next door at the comic shop to make sure she put me down for it, she's like, "Yeah, I got you down for it." So
okay.
We shall see, but yes, back to Doomsday Clock. I'm excited. I'm optimistic. This is a 12-issue run, so man, we've got a while. Do you know whether it's going to be bi-weekly, bi-monthly, weekly?
I think it's going to be monthly, but I don't know for sure. I haven't really looked into that. But
again, guys, we're not experts. We have full-time jobs. We also podcast about The Walking Dead and other stuff. Yeah. So if you know the answer to these questions, please just throw it down at the bottom, and we will definitely give you credit on the next podcast for giving us the answers.
Mm-hmm. And we love the variants and just everything going on with it and all this stuff.
You got some nerve to talk about variants.
It's not my fault.
This guy, I go into the comic shop and I pick up my issue, and apparently the lenticular cover with Rorschach on the cover is the actual
the holographic cover.
First issue, right? Would have definitely thought that was a variant. Well, then she also has the variant, which is the awesome, one of my favorite images from this, which is just where you see Dr. Manhattan's face in the corner, and it's dismantling Superman as he's kind of there, arms stretched. And I was like, do I want that variant? And then she goes, well, I only have one left, so if you want it, you got to get it now. And I'm like, I don't know if she's just trying to sell me, but I'm convinced.
She is a hustler.
So I'm like, yeah, you know what? No, I don't need to buy 2 issues of the same comic right now. It's Christmas time. I need to save my money. But then I get back and you say something when we're texting about it, and you're like, yeah, I'm definitely going to probably get that. And then I'm like, crap. Now I want it.
Yeah,
And
I
then-
got all 3 covers she had. I got the the Riot cover. I got both of those.
That's my least favorite. I think the Riot cover was just but I think
Yeah.
that the other 2 are freaking awesome.
The only one she didn't have was the black and white variant.
Yeah.
But I told her just any variant
I've got
she
that
gets, I want.
poster.
Yeah, you did. I had to order the lithograph off of eBay. She didn't have that or the little Doomsday Clock.
I'm gonna make
pins.
sure that I have that mounted up in my man cave.
Oh,
but
yeah.
you ordered it, so I mean,
did.
you took away all
Well, I had to pay for it. I don't know why she didn't get more of that freebie stuff. The pins, the lithographs.
The pins are awesome. I really
Yeah.
would love it if they would have some.
You know, I
pins
saw on
next.
eBay too. They had metal pins, like all the bat symbols with the different, like Wonder Woman, Batman.
Oh, really?
Yeah, the whatever they were called.
That's Berserker. No, was Berserker?
I wanted to say Berserker, but I don't think
That's
it's Berserker.
that's Devastator.
Devastator.
That's
right.
probably what you're thinking
and the
of.
Drowned
That's
and all that
the-
stuff. They
yeah.
had pins for all those.
That's so cool. I wish. Do you remember when she got those fidget spinners? Fidget
Yeah, I
spinners, that
do.
fad that lasted like a month.
Yeah.
She had one thing she did have cool though. She had those superhero ones.
Uh-huh.
It'd be sweet if they had like some metal variants of those.
That would be tight.
It's so sad those came out and they were so popular, and now literally the only I actually didn't pay for either of the 2 that I have. My girlfriend works at a library, and kid had left it there for days and never came back, so she gave me one, and then I got one from the comic book shop next door. Jenny was just like, you've helped me sell so many,
Right.
I'll give you one.
Oh, nice.
She gave me like the kind of sample one they had out to let everybody spin and try them out.
Pretty.
And all I use them for now is I sit them on the floor and I spin them so they'll freak my dog out. Because he
yeah.
just goes into attack mode when he sees them.
Yeah.
But the fidget spinner. So yeah, high hopes heading into issue 2, which I don't know exactly when that'll be out.
Yeah.
Put the release date in the comments section. You know it.
Yeah.
We want to know what you know. Make sure to hit that subscribe button. We're really trying to grow this channel. We started off just talking about The Walking Dead, and we really enjoy that. And we're going to continue to do that. But we want to expand out in the comics. We want to start doing some movie reviews.
Our tentacles are going everywhere.
Yeah.
And if you have any fan art about that situation we were talking about with Wonder Woman and Lois Lane, please, either send it to us in a message, put it in the comments section. I would love to see it. I would love to see it.
I'll draw you some stick figures. I mean, at least to get your imagination going. But hit that subscribe button.
Yeah.
We're going to maybe start doing some. Apparently, there are lots of haunted places around where we are. So
Oh my
we're going to
gosh.
start exploring some of these, like late night, real spooky stuff. Might end up being found footage. Who knows? But,
Found footage.
Yeah.
I mean, they won't find us. They'll only find the footage.
Right.
God in heaven.
So hit that subscribe button to and hit the little notification thing so to let you know whenever we post up something new, and hit the like button on this video, and we will catch you in like a day or 2 when some new comics come out.
Hopefully, yeah.
I'm Justin.
I'm JP too.
Yeah, we'll catch you soon.
See ya.